Welcome back, Michelle. It's such a treat to have you on the show again.
Oh, I'm so delighted to be here, Kimberly.
It's an honor. It's an honor. And what I want to talk this time is really all things midlife. And I know you work with a lot of midlife women as a style coach, and there's so many other things that you do and that you come across as you're working with women on things like style, right? Because it's not just about the clothing, right? It's the whole package. It's the way we show up in the world. It's this idea of taking up space. It's this idea of wearing those things you never thought you could or would wear. So tell me a little
Mhm.
bit about your journey and how midlife has shifted your take
Mhm.
on style and the way it shows up in your world.
That is a great question. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I struggled years and years ago with my weight and with my body image and self-esteem. And that is really what led me to a career in style. And I feel like in a lot of ways I've come full circle because after working in style for 17 years, what I've been hearing lately, really just in the past, a lot of it's really surfaced since COVID, but a lot of women have been coming in, either we're coming into the brick and mortar when we used to have one, but coming in to our realm, whether it's on our live shows or in a conversation on Instagram or somewhere, and what they're saying is, I just need to lose 15 pounds. And then I can get back to where I used to be, or get back into my jeans again, or get something. And so it's interesting because it's really brought up for me, like, oh, that's where I used to be. And it really has brought it full circle. And so what I've really begun doing with my clients is more of an inside out approach and looking at what's your body image? How are you feeling about yourself? Overcoming issues, blockages, barriers to confidence. And I'm finding that so many midlife women, we have all the normal things going on, and then you hit 40, 50, 60, whatever your definition of midlife is. But I think with it comes all these just old beliefs that we're holding on to. All these things that, oh, this is what I thought about my mom or heard my family say or heard women say. And then people are looking in the mirror and they're like, "Ooh, I'm not, what I used to be. I need to be something different." And oftentimes, I think one of the biggest mistakes women make is instead of looking forward to who they're stepping into, they're looking backwards and saying, "Oh, I have gained weight now. I need to get back there." And they act as if something's wrong with them. So that's a very long answer, but I feel that what's really shifted for me is more of an emphasis on not just style, but really about mindset, how we see ourselves, how we show up, and really who we give ourselves permission to be.
I love that. I love that, who we give ourselves permission to be. And I was just thinking, because this really ties into my question about embracing change, which, let's be honest, it's one of the
Mhm.
things that is going to happen in midlife that no matter what, like we are aging and things are shifting. And so, as you think about mindset and acceptance, and also continuing to come into your own in a way that maybe you didn't previously, what have you
Mhm.
noticed to be like really helpful tools or tips to increase people's confidence or to get into the mindset like, I deserve this? This is important to me. I want to bring this part of myself out.
Sure. I look at style. I think style is one of the best tools that we have to change our minds about ourselves, to change how we see things, because we get dressed every day, right? And we can change what we wear, we can change how we put things on. And so, one of the best pieces of advice, if you put on something, and first of all, if it does not fit, if your jeans do not fit, take them off. They're just not right for you right now. There is something better. I hear so many women get hung up and say, my pants don't fit. I need to lose weight. And then we beat ourselves up and go down that whole downward spiral. But if you put something on and it doesn't fit you, physically fit, take it off. There is something better that is going to honor your body. There is nothing wrong with your body. And there's something that if you just make usually like a 5-degree pivot, then you'll find, oh, here's a different shirt or a different pair of pants or a different way I could wear something. And Kimberly, I know with your clothing line, like it's so soft and it's so forgiving and It's so luxurious feeling, but when you can have something that also feels good, and feels good, meaning like you love how the fabric feels, you love how it feels against your skin and on your body, but it also evokes your essence, where you can look in the mirror and say, that's who I am. That's how I want to show up today. It's not just, okay, it fits your body, you can get into it because you could put something on and it fits, and then you're like, something not right about it. It may not be who you are now. And so I look at style as a tool because when you can change your top, you can change your jeans, you can change your outfit, your accessories. What also can you change? Your mood, your energy, how you see yourself, and how you show up. And I think ultimately, how you show up, how you feel about yourself, that impacts your life. How are you living your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you help people get off of that? Oh, I need to lose the 15 pounds and then I can be happy with how I'm showing up, or then I'll be happy. How do you
Right,
help
right,
people recognize now is what we've got and how
right.
to let certain ideals or cognitive, this is like how it has to be, beliefs that it needs to be a certain way for it to be beautiful, right? Like, how do
Right.
we like dismantle that?
Yeah. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some of my videos where I take the damn thing off. And it's just about taking off, like physically, you rip it off, get dramatic with it, and just say, you know what? That's no longer serving me. Let it go. Let it go. And then really get clear. Ask yourself, what is serving me? And sometimes it takes exploration. Get in your closet, play dress up, try on some things. But I think one of the biggest things, and you asked earlier what has changed, one of the other things that has really radically changed for me, excuse me, when I first became a style coach 17 years ago, so many people would ask me to come speak, and they wanted me to talk about what to wear at 40, what to wear at 50, what to wear at 60. And I crafted these beautiful messages, and okay, at 40, you should wear this, and 50. And then I hit my 50s, and I'm like, what? And it really for me was a big mindset shift because I was 40 when I first started this. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And it's once you enter it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I was telling women not to wear this and to wear this. Now, don't get me wrong, there are do's and don'ts. But I think it's more a level of what is appropriate for an occasion, what is appropriate for who you are. And it's less about age. And I've been having this conversation with my community. And I posted something the other day. I said, complete this sentence. Midlife women should stop wearing what? And I could tell, like the women in our community who really follow our message, they were spot on. They were like the weight of other people's opinions, the shame, guilt, all the things that we teach. But then a couple people chimed in that knew some new ladies, and somebody said short skirts. And I said, tell me more. Let's have a conversation about this. What if somebody, has beautiful legs? Like Tina Turner, if short skirts are out, I guess she never got the memo, right? And so, how do you say there's a cutoff? How do you say, okay, I'm 45, I must get into my closet and get rid of anything that's short? It's not doing us justice because one of the things that I think for me way back when I was struggling with self-image and really helped me to get over a lot of my insecurities was noticing. Start by noticing what is beautiful about you. Look in the mirror. I've got great hair today. Find a color that plays it up. My skin looks gorgeous. Okay, great. Let's find a top or a blouse or something that's going to light you up and make you look more luminous. You've got great legs. Wear the short skirt, wear the heels, wear the shoes that are going to make you feel like a badass, that are going to make you feel good in the skin you're in. And I think when we as women can get out of our heads and get away from maybe what we grew up with or what we've always heard about women over 50 should look a certain way, we need to first shift that for ourselves. There are going to be people on the internet or in real life who are going to say, who are you to wear that? And how dare you? But when we really stop and take a step back and say, is that really true? No. I might be 60, but I was a dancer. I wasn't a dancer, but if someone was a dancer, like Kimberly, you do ballet. I'm sure you work with some amazing women who are in up in their decades and have incredible legs. Why wouldn't you show them off? And I think when you really get away from, oh, what's somebody going to say? Or what have I always heard? And really drop into what makes me come alive? What makes me feel more like myself? Then this is where we really tap into the essence of our true style. This is where we wear what lights us up. And the crazy thing is, when we wear something that lights us up, we light other people up too. People around us, like, they just get excited to see us, or they love being in our energy, or you know how it is when you wear something that you're just like, yeah, like this is me. It tells people yours. I like to say your style tells the world who you are before you speak a word. And when people start coming up to you, it magnetically attracts your ideal friends, partners, connections, business connections. You really resonate with the people that you have something in common with when you are expressing yourself authentically. But I've found, and I'd love to hear your take on this as a psychotherapist, one of the things people are afraid of most is being their true selves. And I think style, you're really expressing themselves and going out on a limb at first can be a little bit scary. But when you really can tap into that and say, I really want to wear a really bold outfit, just start noticing, what are you drawn to? What are you attracted to? And when you notice, oh my gosh, I love all these wild prints, or I love wild color, start with baby steps. Maybe you decide, ooh, I want to wear bold colors. You don't have to be bold colors head to toe. Maybe you wear a bold colored top under a jacket, so just a little bit of it peeks out. Maybe you wear a bold lip. Maybe you wear a bold colored shoe. Start small. And then as you gain confidence, and you will gain confidence and compliments, then you'll start to feel more, just feel your way into it. And if you wear something and then you get out in public and you're like, oh, this is totally wrong, feel it, but trust how you feel. I think we are not taught to trust ourselves. And when we can really tune into what feels right to me, don't ask your friends, does this look okay? Does that look okay? Ask yourself, look in the mirror and feel, like tap into, drop into your heart and feel it. You'll know. You do not need to ask anybody, because the look on your face and how you feel will tell you everything you need to know.
And one of the things, and I appreciate what you're saying with regard to why is it hard for people to show up the way they want to show up. But one piece just to backpedal there is I was curious about, because some people I feel like just aren't quite clear. Who do I want to show up as? What is it I want
Mhm.
to wear? I don't know. Maybe they've always worn scrubs to work, so they've never really had to think about clothing outside of the office or the hospital or whatever it might be. And with so many people also now working from home, there's been a shift. But I do think there's almost like a little backlash against it, of people now being like, I want to dress up. I want to like put things on that make me feel good. But I think for those listeners who are still like, I'm not sure what I like, or I'm not sure what I'm drawn to, I always recommend do a mood board or a Pinterest board, or go to a bookstore and kind of go through magazines, go through books to see, I really like this, or I like this. I've got up here the book CBK, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and it's
Yes,
all about, she is my style icon and has been for
she's
like
she was just
fantastic. Probably 30 years. I've loved her style. What is it? Who is it that you're just like, wow, I love
mhm,
that look? And I think sometimes it's hard for people to know, because maybe they're just dressing the way everyone around them is dressing, versus like them being like, I want to really go out. And because they just might not know what out is, what's possible.
mhm.
So, how do you help people even get to that degree of recognizing what they're drawn to?
That's a great question. The place I always start, I created an assessment back in 2010. It's called our Style Finder ID assessment, and it gives our clients three words. You have your primary word, your secondary word, and your supporting word. Because my belief is that if you ask anybody, they might say, I'm classic. Okay, great. But what else? What else? We're multifaceted. And so when my clients take that, I like to say, okay, what they get is we get to cultivate their signature style. And so when you take the Style Finder ID assessment and you get your 2 words or your 3 words, what I do is I've taken the primary and secondary word and created archetypes. And the archetype, actually, it was funny that you said CBK because I was working on on some things for a client this morning, and one of her style icons is or I think CBK will be one of her style icons. She's perfect. But it's really when you can understand what is the essence. Style is, in my opinion, the way I look at it, style and fashion are almost polar opposite. Fashion, I look at as what you wear. You go to Paris Fashion Week and you see all these beautiful things, but it's all external. Style is who we are on the inside. Style is what we exude, it's how we express things. And anybody could walk into a store, Ann Taylor or Givenchy or Gucci, anywhere, and say, dress me, head to toe, just whole thing. And you're wearing a look, but you might not resonate with that. You might be wearing what you feel like you should wear. And so, the way I work with clients is to really, first of all, start with the assessment and get your words. We have a mini quiz that clients can take as well to get one word to get that starting point. And then, as you mentioned, create a vision board, a mood board. What do I want my style to look like? Pinterest is one of my favorite tools for that. And I love to just get on there and just start pinning. But what I've tell clients and what I've noticed is that you start pinning what you like, you'll start to see patterns. You want to look for those patterns. Do I want to incorporate more lace? Do I want to incorporate more blue? Am I looking at more menswear? Do I love frilly, pretty prints, stripes? What do you notice? A lot of jewelry, very subtle jewelry. What are the hallmarks of your style? What are your signature elements really? And when you can really get clear, you might say, "Oh, it's just a jumble." But then you look at it and you're like, "Ooh, I can pick that out and I can pick that out and I can pick that out." And you take those and you ask yourself, "How do I want to put that together?" And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is it." And then you find your little nuances. You might say, "Hey, my like Kimberly, your signature style would be either black or pink." Am I correct? And if our friends know if they give you something, it's probably going to be black or pink. But it helps you to tell the world who you are. Here's what I love. It's not if you get something. I actually worked with a client years ago, and her signature color was green. And she told me, she said, I know if I get a gift from anybody else and it's not green, they don't know me very well. And you didn't have to know her that well to know that her signature color was green. But I did work with her and we got into her closet and she had green of every shade. I said, Mary, I want you to know that green looks beautiful on you, but not every shade is your best. So we really drilled down to refine it. And she picked Celadon green, which was fantastic on her. And she could say, oh, all of these other greens, they're fine, but it wasn't just green that was her signature color. It was Celadon green. And when she could narrow it down further, it's like you're chipping away, you're chipping away. I look at it as you're peeling back the layers. So many women have come to me over the years and said, I don't have a style. And my belief is everybody has a style, but through taking care of kids or working or taking care of your partner or busy life, we've lost it. And we might wake up, or we've been doing this thing, the same old thing. Okay, maybe I found my style in my 20s and I've been wearing the same thing for 20 years, and all of a sudden my body changed. I've gained a little weight around the middle. My jeans aren't fitting anymore. I guess I don't have style. Women start feeling frumpy. They fall into the frumpy zone. And I've found that when that happens, a lot of women, it's like our first tendency can be, I guess I'm just done. I'm over the hill. I'm done. And my belief is that is absolutely not true. I think that there is a cycle to style. And that in our 20s, it's all about discovery and who am I and what do I get to step into? And then you're on that same trajectory for a little while, and then things start to change and break down. I look at that. This is your time to pivot, to reset, to press the reset button, if you will, and say, okay, who am I now? That served me for however many years, but who am I now? So I like to look at it. I think the real essence of what I do is I help midlife women reinvent who they are. not just what they wear on the outside, but how they see themselves, how they walk into a room, how they put it all together. Just they help them to really uncover the truth of who they are. And if you look at someone's style in your 20s, there are chances are going to be some real key elements that are still present at midlife. And but it's going to be different. And it has nothing to do with age, really. Not age just as a number, but it has everything to do with now we have a deeper understanding of ourselves. We know, hey, this thing that I used to wear, now it gets a little itchy, or this that style jean rides up, or this is much more flattering because we've had years of experience to discover ourselves, to get dressed, to try different things, to be exposed to new styles. And so now we have a much more clear picture of who we are, what we like, and we're not willing to tolerate anything that's not right.
Yeah. No, or it doesn't feel good. You're absolutely
Or it
right.
doesn't feel
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I think it's an opportunity instead of what I was saying earlier about looking back to the past. Oh, let me just get back to where I was and trying desperately to get to somewhere that's unattainable, unachievable. And I've talked with so many women lately about the whole toxic diet culture mindset. I grew up in the midst of toxic diet culture. And I remember we used to talk, my aunts, my cousin, like we would all talk about, well, what diet are you doing this week? Was it the Atkins or the Pritikin or whatever? And they were all awful. They all were so devoid of any kind of pleasure. They all made us feel bad about ourselves. But now I feel that mindset, like it's still there a little bit. And I think as we deal with changing body types, it can bring up some of those ghosts from the past. And they come back to haunt us in a lot of ways. But I think when we can say, you know what, that's not serving me right now. Who am I right now? It's almost like I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be not that I'm wishing this, but it's almost if you can play a game, have amnesia and forget about all the stuff that haunts us, all the oh, what your mom said about wearing blue, you should never wear blue, whatever. We all have these things that we hold on to. But when we get to a certain age and we realize this is what I heard growing up, like people have told me all sorts of crazy stuff. And like that is, I think just get curious. Get curious. Is this true? Do I need to stop wearing mini skirts? Do I need to stop wearing crop tops? If I'm a fitness instructor and I've got a body like a lot of these instructors I see in their 50s and 60s, heck yeah, I'm going to be rocking a crop top as long as I can. Why not? Personally, I'm not a crop top kind of gal, but if that is who you are, if it's what makes you feel good, why deprive yourself of wearing what you love?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I do think it's like how to get clear, as we were talking about, on what it is you're drawn to. And I think the piece that you mentioned earlier, and I love this word as it comes to midlife, but reinvention. And it
Mm.
is, it's just thinking about, okay, maybe this has been my style or my style icon or the way I wanted to show up. But now I'm no longer maybe in that job or wearing that hat as a mom or as a nurse in scrubs. It's and you just think about, okay, who am I now? How do I want to shift it? How do I want to redirect my energy? And what makes me feel good now in the body I have in this moment? And I think that's so
Mhm.
important. And the word that you also use that I really like is curiosity.
Mm. Yeah, I think when we can be so quick to place judgment on ourselves and say, "Oh, you can't wear that. Who do you think you are?" Just we just get in our heads. But instead of, and I play this game, I encourage my clients to play this game when they get in their closets. And I think it translates to our lives as well. But when you look at clothing, instead of saying, I can't wear that, we're often quick to judge something and say, I can't do that. I can't wear that. I can't think that. I like to reframe it and say, how can I wear that? How could I wear that? Huh. Maybe I could tie it in a bow. Maybe I could layer it. Maybe I could wear it as a scarf. I was playing around on one of our live shows the other day and we had this little pareo and I was turning it into a scarf and doing all these fun things. And the women were like, oh my gosh, I would never have thought about that. And so when you can reframe it We get so stuck. It's almost like we have blinders on and we hit midlife and we're like, uh-oh, it's all downhill from here because that's what we grew up hearing. But I think midlife is this opportunity to say, what do I want now? Like now I get to create it. Now we're far smarter and wiser, and we have so many more resources and opportunities that I don't think our parents had. And I think it's a wonderful time to be a midlife woman. I think we get to celebrate that. And I also feel that, look at Instagram. I think it's really opened up the opportunity for so many things that we've never even thought about fashion wise. It used to be, I look back to what my mom was wearing when she was my age, and it was very different. It was very traditional, and you didn't really deviate. And I don't think there was the allowing of personal style, of personal expression that we have today. And I think social media has really helped with that. But if you get on social media, and there are some wonderful women that I follow in mid-age and all ages, really, but there are some women that wear things I'm like, years ago, you would never have seen anybody wearing anything like that. And it's not that far out. It's just maybe they like oversized things, or maybe they like things that are a little bit quirky or funky or just different. But I think the beauty of this day and age is there's so much more acceptance as a culture. But I think the biggest challenge is us accepting ourselves.
which is a lifetime process and journey. And I like what you said about amnesia. It's like, could we pull those things out with the different diets you were mentioning? I remember the cabbage soup diet. Do you remember the cabbage
Ah,
soup diet?
yes.
It was actually good, but it was like,
It
who
was.
just
It
eats
was.
cabbage soup and like watermelon or something? I can't remember what else you could have with it, but yeah, so random.
Yes. Oh my
But
gosh. I've got
yeah.
bad memories about some of those.
It was like such an 80s, I think, thing. But for our listeners and in closing, Michelle, just thinking about like acceptance as a whole, because I feel like that's really what we've honed in on with today's
Mhm.
podcast is just like, how do we get to that place and how do we really embrace ourselves as we are? And so I'm curious if you have any kind of closing thoughts for listeners on how to get to that place. And then
Mhm.
also, yeah, I'll stop there and then I have one more question.
There's a term that I've been using, and it's elegant acceptance. And I think years ago, when one of my children was in therapy, I know that I heard the term radical acceptance. And I thought about radical acceptance and I played with it for a little while. And I thought, you know what? For people who are a little bit more sensitive like myself, elegant acceptance just feels so much better. Radical acceptance is like, oh, you don't really have any choice in this. Like, you need to just elegant acceptance. So I like to use the term elegant acceptance. It's not that we have to, it's that we get to. And the process that I really teach is looking in the mirror. We are so critical of ourselves, and we it can be so easy to look in the mirror and say, "Oh, my hair looks bad today," or "I'm looking a little tired." But when we turn the lens and say, "What's great about me today?" Can I play my eyes up? Wow, your skin's looking really good. And then start to flip that to compliments, to giving ourselves compliments. Now, I know, and from my own personal experience and working with a lot of my clients, it can be really tricky sometimes if you're not used to saying positive things to yourself. It can be really tricky after a lifetime of negative self-talk to turn that lens around. So I say start with gratitude. You might not be able to look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I look gorgeous today." But you could probably look in the mirror and find some positive attribute. Maybe not about yourself physically, but about you as a person. And have gratitude for that. Wow, I was like, for me, it started right after I gave birth to my first child. And I was getting ready to say some really bad things about my body because I had gained some weight. But I was able to really flip that and say, I'm grateful that I gave birth to her, that I was able to carry her and bring a human being into the world. And I'm grateful that I have hands that I can take care of her. And so it started there. And you can meet yourself where you are. It's not a forced thing, but if you do desire to turn that self-talk around, starting with gratitude can be a lot easier than looking in the mirror and saying, "Hey girl, you look gorgeous today." I want you to get
Yeah.
there, but it might take a few steps between.
Yes. Baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps, baby
Yeah.
steps. So meet yourself where you are. And it's not a, oh my gosh, I can't do this. There's something wrong with it. No, we all struggle with our own stuff. And it's
Right.
when we can meet ourselves where we are that we can begin to change. When we can stop beating ourselves up and stop making ourselves wrong and accept ourselves at the weight we are, at the age we are, at the style we are, whatever, then we can say, you know what? You might not be able to say I love myself, but when you can say, okay, I accept myself. Acceptance is the first step to deciding, okay, I want to do something different.
Yeah. I love
Let's
that.
start there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. So good. Such good reminders. And my last question for you, Michelle, of course, the name of the podcast, Tranquility du Jour. So, how are you finding tranquility in your everyday, especially around this like elegant acceptance and reinvention in midlife and really just getting through with everything that is going on in the world right now?
It's a very energetic time. I will say that. For me, I think there are a lot of things that I've come to do and incorporate into my life. I like to start with my morning routine, just really being grounded. There's some spiritual texts that I read every morning, journaling, reflecting, really taking some time with a cup of tea and my overnight oats usually, and just setting myself up for success. And some days I want to spend several hours. My husband kids me, he's all your 4 hour morning routine. And some days I do want to spend hours because it flows into my workday and I'm still in my pajamas, but I'm getting stuff done. And then that's just how I work sometimes. But it's just really honoring where am I? There are days that I'm really jazzed about something I'm working on. I'm like, you know what? I really want to go right into writing this curriculum or writing this podcast script or working on something that's meaningful. It's from the heart. I love walking. I am a big walker and I've got a beautiful rescue dog, and we get out and take lots of walks in nature together. Really, just being in nature is so important. I'm reading and hearing more about earthing and grounding. And so, really starting to do some of that. Eating well for me is a non negotiable. I'm just taking care of my body and exercise. I've gotten really into lifting some weights and doing some weight training. And for me, again, talking about toxic diet culture, it's not about being skinny. It's not at all. It's like, I want to age well. I want to be strong. I want to be able to put my suitcase, my overnight bag in the bin and the airplane. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to live my life fully. And so lifting weights for me is a way to stay strong and to stay active and vibrant.
I love that. As you say that, I look over at my 3 pound weights. And I'm like, they're so heavy. But yes, no, you're so right. Getting that carry on into the overhead bin is no small feat. And being able to do that and do it without needing assistance is a big, it's an honor. Like I did
Mhm.
that. So I think it's such a
Yeah.
good reminder. And I do still love my 3 pound weights, but
Yeah.
maybe someday I'll
Well,
build
meet
up the
yourself where you
time.
are.
I am practicing elegant acceptance. Yes,
There
not
you
three
go.
pound weights.
No judgment.
No judgment. Michelle, thank you so much. It's always a treat to spend time with you, and I appreciate all your insights, especially around something that is so important, such as acceptance. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kimberly. It's always a joy to be with you.